feeling a desire to share with you, and also feeling imperfect, feeling like I don't have it figured out, and like all my feelings aren't processed and my thoughts aren't processed, and I'm coming in a place where I think most of us feel the most vulnerable is when we don't have the answers, and even the slightest push of the finger could potentially have us fall over. And I'm wanting to start a new trend in my own life to give myself permission to share and to be present with others when I am feeling that way. And I'm grateful that you have been showing me that that is a possibility. I am back in Sequim, and I want to share first that I have not talked to anybody on the East Coast yet since I've been back here. This is my first day back. We got home late last night. Two of my local friends, one who is also my doctor, my naturopath here, met us and were helpful to take care of me and bring me food, while my parents and my sister and my brother-in-law took care of unpacking. We have cats here that I am technically allergic to, and that we have told to not jump on me, but here we are. So we will be working on that part. And my dad wheeled me outside in the wheelchair this morning. He said, "It's raining outside." I said, "I don't care." And so we had two rain jackets and wheeled me outside and put my feet on the grass. And I cried before I even put my feet on the ground because I miss her so much. So I'm hoping I can touch the ground every day. I know it will become a little more complicated as the weather gets colder. Today it was in the low 50s, so it was warm enough. I'm grateful to all of you for sending prayers. To myself, to my family, for your contributions financially to my family. And we're really just settling in at this point, and then we're going to discover what we need to do to move forward, to be able to live comfortably. I feel I will be here for Well, my guides are telling me to not share publicly yet, but I have an idea of how much time I'll be here in this home, and then I'll be guided from there, but it feels like enough time. Enough time. I think there were so many moments under the trip that took us 8 days. 2 days of broken down in Kentucky with electrical issues, and my friend drove 4 hours to see me, and a day of or one night where we had a headlights go out in Oregon, and I had another friend that drove from southeast Washington to come see me and spend time with me in the motorhome. And we had many of our own challenges inside, including way too much suspension for my body in the back of the motorhome. At some point I felt like I was getting about an inch of air off the back of the bed, and my whole nervous system was just screaming. And so they had to move me to the front bed when the electrical issues happened as well, because they had to get under the back bed to look at the engine. And then we turned a corner, and the mattresses covers slid off the front couch or bed where I was laying, and I almost fell off the bed. And that was very scary for everyone, because we never expected that. So we resolved that with cables. And we had emotional breakdowns too, because that's just what happens when everyone is so high stressed in a high stress situation with it mattering, So when I say grateful for your prayers, I mean grateful for your prayers. So we are home now in Sequim. And again, I have not spoken to anyone on the phone since I've been home. Nobody other than my doctor. So please, thank you for your patience for me to get back with anybody. And again, I am only in intuitive response mode. Want to share about OCD. Many of you, especially those of you who are my clients, have struggled with OCD and some sort of disorder on the anxiety spectrum, whether it's high grade or low grade, and you understand the challenge of cognitive inflexibility. And in the last 3 months, I have gone the full pendulum swing between complete trust and literally handing over my entire world to a single person to manage everything, to realizing that's unworkable for me and my life. But I needed to understand and know it as the universe through me because I had longed for and truly needed the feeling of being taken care of to the point where I didn't need to do anything. And then when I realized the fullest extent of that, I remembered why that's not workable for us. I remembered and I was reminded that there's a reason why we are gifted the responsibility of our self-care. And we are gifted the responsibility of our self-care so that we can make our own choices, and so that we can make sure things are the way that we would have them be. And in that sense, that it is a gift to be able to take care of ourselves. That's what our elderly, our disabled, some of our disabled population face, is that feeling of juxtaposition, of sandpaper, of the dissonance between gratitude of being cared for and the grief and the loss of self-identity through being able to make choices for oneself. And I have more understanding and empathy than ever for anyone in a position where they're not able to care for themselves fully, and how vulnerable not only it feels, but how vulnerable it is actually to know that even in an emergency situation that you are dependent on someone to get to safety. And I say all that to say OCD has magnified that for me. Pendulum swinging from someone who was in complete control of my life, every aspect of my life, to no control. And how that benefited me by facing what it feels like to quite literally say, well, I asked for this and here's what I got. And this is something that anyone gets if you ask the universe for the opposite of what you have. And how can I be in this energy of the feeling of what that looks like and what I'm left with, and move forward without constantly ruminating in my mind about how to undo what was done. Mooji is one of my favorite gurus, Mooji. And Mooji says in his meditation, I'm willing to let go of what there is to do as much as I'm willing to let go of trying to undo what has been done. And I am still in process with that. I don't have the answers, but I know that I am challenged in this area. And I'm grateful for the knowingness that it is not something that requires more doing than leaning into the feeling of discomfort and being with any outcome, reminding myself that there God is, no matter what. I wanted to talk about my smile because I want you to know how I desire to heal from here. My smile is look at my jaw. My jaw has changed under the left side. And I remember moments, many moments in my life, looking at my face and saying, I wish I didn't have such a long face. I wish I had a shorter face. I loved my jaw. I learned to love my lips, even though when I was a child, my schoolmate made fun of my lips and I made fun of my nose. But I never liked my long face. And I was feeling ashamed of my long face. And now, I have the experience of a shortened jaw on one side. And I have cried many tears realizing that I desired to have a shorter face. And now only two of my teeth connect. And I've ordered a mouth guard kit to at least protect my teeth at night from not hitting only in one place. And part of the reason why I felt such a devastation in the past 4 months since it has been the experience I've been having, it's because I thought to myself, if I live, only one option would be to have a jaw surgery. And I couldn't imagine going through another painful major surgery. And then I had the thought the past 2 months that I could have a mouth guard and maybe extend the mouth guard to align my jaw again a different way. But these are the processes that anyone goes through in their mind. The process of thinking, how can I go through something that feels like it's harder than just taking an exit? And will it be worth it? Can I gamble on myself? Can I place a bet on myself? And we want to talk to God ahead of time. We want to say, God, show me that everything will work out. Show me that if I bet on myself, that I will manifest or experience the fruits of my labor. And God says, show me your belief in yourself. like the shark tank, right? Imagine God is like the shark tank. And the people in the shark tank, they say they could tell, they have an internal knowing of your belief in yourself. They have an internal knowing of whether, regardless of everything that you've created before, whether you have the numbers to show or not, that you're so decided in your belief in yourself that they would bet on you too. And they would walk out of there going, I have no idea why I just invested in that person, but I just had a feeling. And that's what God has with you, the universe, source. They have a feeling that you have bet on yourself and that they are going to double down on their bet for you too. But what happens when everyone else in the world around you foresees the opposite of what you want and what you've created for your life? What happens if everyone else sees all of the signs in your life and says, oh, she or he is headed for the bottom? Oh, I could see where this is going. That's when you really need to connect with yourself and connect with places and spaces in yourself that you didn't even know existed. Ignite the phoenix inside of your being that can derive and connect with belief in yourself and a level of faith in yourself that comes from no experience in your past, that comes from no belief or affirmation from an outside source, even from God, but that comes instead from an innate desire within yourself, an innate belief and faith that says, even if everyone in my world says I'm not going to make it, or I'm too young or too old, or not capable enough, or don't have enough money, or have too much money, that this will be my experience of myself and my life. That's where you realize the most self-love and acceptance, because in order to come to this place, you have to know that the darkest and deepest shadow aspects of yourself are worthy and deserving of love and acceptance, and therefore the life that you desire. Well, that was a big tangent. I haven't been reading all your comments, my loves, because sometimes it's too complicated. But I also wanted to, let me turn in. I want to share with you what's next, because I don't know what's next. But I will share with you what's now. And what feels like now is continuing to recover from OCD, to continue to create myself and my identity as someone who is always authentic, but not always good. not always kind, not always nice. Someone who is angry when I need to be, loud when I need to be, upset when I need to be, disdainful when I need to be, resentful when I need to be, but always authentic and always wanting to be in conversation open-heartedly and to create a safe space not only for others but for myself, knowing that I only am being kind when I create an equal space of safety for myself in conversation as much as others. I will continue to update you, show you my love and gratitude, and if I'm called to reach out to you individually, I will, and I love you so much.